The U.S. economy is really changing, and Costco is warning that the economy is collapsing. I want to break down what is happening, but also talk about the new numbers that just came out. These are extremely important because they're giving us some insight as to what we are going to see in the very near future. But we're going to talk about Costco specifically. Why? Well, Costco is going to import about 80% of their inventory from China. This is a huge, huge deal, especially when the United States has imposed a 145% tariff on China. Now, we do know China is going to exempt some U.S. products from tariffs. Then this is going to be big for the United States because, again, we are sending our products to China and they're not going to impose a tariff on it. That's great for the Chinese people, but at the same time, great for us here in the United States as well because it means more jobs. But there's some interesting numbers that have come out and we need to discuss those, and that's what we're going to do right now. First, before I do, all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So look at this right here. It says the Costco CFO flags shift to budget buys as shoppers tighten belts. It says Costco's finance chief has sent up a flare and rivals like Walmart and Target should be watching closely. Okay, we're going to touch on this because what is happening right now and has been happening over the past month or two is very telling as to what we are about to see. Keep in mind that the United States has imposed a 145% tariff on China, but the United States has also paused tariffs on every other country until July 8th, which means the experts are telling us that we are going to see the price hikes come July. That's an important date because we're also hearing from the Trump administration they want to get one of their big bills done by the 4th of July. So again, it all kind of ties into each other. But let's read a little bit of this article really quick. Look at this right here. It says, our buyers continue to bring in new and exciting items at great values. This includes big ticket consumer electronics products such as a 98-inch and 100-inch TVs, Stern pinball machines, and gaming computers, all of which perform very well during the holiday season. Keep in mind that the items that we're selling during the holiday season, a lot of people were aware that Trump's tariffs could potentially hit, right? They knew this was a possibility. Consumers were buying stuff ahead of schedule just because they didn't want to pay more. This happened a little bit in the holiday season, but also in January and February. Now, this is why it's a big deal. Costco is bringing in, they import from China about 79-80% of the imports, okay? 80 to 80% of their imports are coming from China. That's a big number, okay? That's a massive number, especially when, again, the consumers inside Costco, inside Walmart, inside Target, at Amazon, they're more conscious about what they're buying. Look at this, though. This came out just this morning. It says, U.S. economy contracts for first time since 2022 on imports surge. Okay, what does this mean? Well, let's read a little bit of this article first. It says right here, inflation-adjusted gross domestic product decreased in annualized 0.3% in the first quarter. It's well below the average growth of 3% in the prior 2 years. It says net export subtracted nearly 5% percentage points from GDP, the most on record. But look at this. It says the GDP, the actual, is negative 0.3%. The estimate was negative 0.2%. So a little bit worse. Personal consumption, it's plus 1.8. The estimate was plus 1.2. This is all because people were concerned about inflation and about the tariffs. That's why. Now I want to read something to you though. Highlighted in yellow. Look at this. This is extremely important. It says forecasters currently see nearly even odds of the U.S. falling into a recession in the next year. Okay, we're 50-50. Looking ahead, many economists anticipate the higher duties will cause a supply shock, challenging businesses and leading to a pullback in demand. Consumers are also growing increasingly anxious that tariffs will take a toll on the labor market and drive up the cost of living. Okay, here's the reason this is a big deal. Okay, and I'm going to read that to you in a second, but I want to show you something first. This also came out. Private payroll growth slowed to 62,000 in April. Okay. It says right here, private sector payrolls rose by just 62,000 for the month, the smallest gain since July 2024, down from 147,000 in March and missing the Dow Jones consensus estimate for an increase of 120,000. That means pretty much half. Okay? Roughly half the estimate is what we got. Now, here's the reason why it's a big deal. Because of this sentence right here. It says we are currently, in the United States, is currently in a 50-50 chance of dipping into a recession. Okay. It says that many economists anticipate the higher duties will cause a supply shock. What we're about to see, and we're already seeing at the ports, is some of the containers are halfway filled. So we have less supply. Okay. Not only that, some companies are leaving their products at the ports for longer. Okay. They're not even picking them up. There's some products that have came from China that people cannot go and get out because they can't pay the duty. Can't pay the additional tariff of 145%. Okay. It says it's going to be challenging businesses and leading to a pullback in demand. Already has. Okay. So we're at a 50-50 shot of dipping to a recession, and yet some of the tariffs on all the other countries, okay, those additional 10, maybe 20%, whatever it may be, right? Those haven't gone into effect yet. We haven't seen those because it's not going to happen until July 8th. Then it says consumers are also growing increasingly anxious that tariffs will take a toll on the labor market and drive up the cost of living. Here's what's going to happen. Businesses are going to go under. They're going to experience a level of uncertainty that they haven't seen for several years. The last time during the pandemic. And when this happens, businesses are going to start to lay off employees. We just learned the other day that UPS is going to lay off 20,000 employees. 20,000 employees. And I believe they're going to close like 60 or 70 different facilities because of the demand decrease. Not just from tariffs, but also because Amazon, their largest user, is now using or kind of doing things on their own. Have their own Amazon Prime shipping. Okay. But as businesses feel this impact, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be layoffs. Okay. But once we see layoffs and we see so people are receiving less money, but yet prices are going up, that's going to create a huge issue. When the cost of living is going up, but yet your income just went down because you lost your job. Yeah. It's going to be devastating to millions of people. But the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because we are seeing the warning signs. Costco, Walmart, Target, even Amazon is saying that we are seeing more demand for essentials, for food, for hair care products, right? Soap, laundry detergent, just the essentials. That's what we're seeing. So we're going to see what happens moving forward. The one thing I can tell you, though, is that we are now experiencing very uncertain times. Because even in any of the past situations, think about it. When we dipped into a recession, why did we dip into a recession? Today, it's different. Because we have a threat of tariffs. That's a huge problem. We still have inflation that is higher than what it is or what the Federal Reserve wants it to be. That's an issue. But with tariffs, prices are going to go up, which means additional inflation. But yet, the Federal Reserve can't go and raise interest rates because everybody wants them to lower rates. Not only that, the United States has a massive debt. We are going to pay over $1 trillion in just interest alone this year. That's troubling. So right now, everyone's looking at everything. And I'm telling you right now, what we are experiencing today is completely different than what we've experienced in the past recessions. And nobody knows how to deal with it. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but that's what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.